Welcome back to After School Shenanigans, the podcast where we talk about all the things we experience in our after school program. I'm Jesse Vasquez. You can find me on Instagram under JM_Vasquez, where I post about the books I'm reading as well as my current projects. As usual, I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend.
It's me, Desmond Reeves, and you can find me on Instagram on Kumon, Marietta Northeast, and let's get going.
Go. You want to start it off?
Nah, you can go start off.
All right. So, yes, today we're talking about, our origin story, how we both got here. What else do you want to call it?
Yeah, I guess it would be an origin story, like supervillains or superheroes. But
it's our training arc, It's our training arc. But no, so how we got here. So, for me, I kind of always knew I liked something to do with education. I kind of knew I enjoyed being the student. And so even though, not everything about being a student is glamorous, of course, growing up, you don't like school. But for me, I knew there was something in it for me where I always enjoyed that environment and that setting. So for me, it really took place in high school. Because I think I've told you, but for everyone listening, I actually got into a program, TAP. So it's teaching as a profession. Okay. And so I was actually able to shadow with a teacher of my choosing. The only rule was they had to be below your grade level because it'd kind of be hard teaching kids older than you. They wouldn't want to listen.
Okay.
So I ended up picking, it was my fourth grade teacher who then taught kindergarten, which I thought was a really good entry because, of course, young kids, they all see you as an adult instantly, whether you're 14 or 40.
Right, because kids don't have no concept of age.
Exactly. They have no concept of it. And so that helped out a lot. But for me, that really kind of helped me dip my toe into it. And so that was the start for me. Then kind of dabbling with it here and there. Once COVID was right before it started, I was actually going into preschool teaching. So I preschool taught for a little while before COVID started.
Okay.
Yeah, but then, it's been, 3.5 years here now pretty much? And so then,
just about.
Yeah, and that was 2020, so 2021 ending up here.
So let me ask you, have you always liked education?
I think to a degree I always have. I didn't know it would rather be me on, I know what side of the hustle I was going to be on,
gotcha.
Is I guess the way I like to put it. Because for me, I liked learning, and even as a little kid, I think I've told you and Ren before, but one of my dreams is I'll be a Nobel laureate. I'll go win a prize. I'll be the Mark Twain of something. And so I always thought about that. And then as I got older, it's all right, seeing what it takes to do that. I don't think it's something I'd want to do, but I know I have interest in learning. That's kind of figure out because to do that, you do got to be smart. You do got to keep learning.
True.
And I've always believed, and we all talk about you learn as you get older. You never stop learning.
True.
So that was one thing I kind of caught the bug for early. So I knew I wanted to be involved in it somewhere.
Yeah. So for me, doing this now, I wouldn't say I knew I wanted to be in education, but now going through doing this, I realized how much I realized the path to get here, right? So for me, my dad's an engineer. I always wanted to be an engineer like my dad, right? So he's an aircraft engineer. So I just that was just not my path. So the next thing was just do numbers, finance. So I've been doing finance for a while, but there's always a itch to want to try do my own thing, right? So it's something I need to do something for myself. But even doing finance, just having to learn Excel, I always try to learn. I always want to learn something, try something different, do something different, create something, right? So when this opportunity came about to start the Kumon and learn education was part of it. That just kind of appealed to me. Just always want to learn, always trying to do something a little different, do something a little difficult, right? Just constant learning, right? Always just doing this. I've read so many books. I can do math so much better now. So for me, it seems like everything kind of led to me doing something in education. I always wanted to lead people or teach people. I guess I'm getting to lead and teach the little people, right? I mean, so much little because some of these kids are 13, 14 in high school. But for me, I just love doing this. It's you hear me tell the parents all the time, I get to sleep well at night because I'm just having these kids coming in from the starting point to where they are now is just such an awesome feeling. And you swear I just can't see myself doing something else.
No, seriously.
It's crazy. It's just this place has given me an opportunity to dig deep into what I really love and teaching kids. And he said, who'd you say? He said, I think you said it earlier this week. You just love your job. This place, it's awesome, man. Just get to do what we do, interact with these kids. So for me, I don't like I wouldn't say I was heading towards teaching. Even though it's funny enough, though, I went to a college known for
Like having
creating
teachers
teachers.
come out of it.
Right. I'm just like, so it's weird. I was the only business guy in our group from that school, but here I am now teaching. I don't think I could be a traditional teacher though, because I think you talked about wanting to be a traditional teacher in the
Well, it's
classroom.
one of those things, right? It goes back and forth. 'Cause I was talking to someone the other day where it's like traditional teaching versus what we do, and the pros and cons of both, right? And it's a whole thing. So like they both have their pros and cons. Like what we do here, it's fun, and I really do feel like with how many kids we have, we reach so many.
So give me the pros and cons of like traditional teaching.
So I think for traditional, like some of the
it.
pros are the tenure and the things you get for being there longer. A little bit of the security in a sense.
Okay.
Where it comes like whether it be what we do or like actual like privatized showing up at your house. Like a lot of the times there aren't certain benefits or there aren't certain things that are as secure. Just like anything, running your own business or doing anything. I wouldn't say we're freelance, but doing anything of that sort of nature, you know, where there's not really a contract drawn up. And it's also not something like, for example, working at your own burger spot versus working at Burger King, where they got the, you know, the corporate and all that, where it's like, oh, you know, this Burger King won't disappear unless like the whole company goes
shuts
bottom
down.
up.
Right.
So it's like something like that compared to different things. But like they have the structure and the stability, but at the same time, I feel like there's also flexibility that's lacked.
Okay.
Like there's certain liberties we can take here that help the students for the betterment of them that you couldn't do at school.
Okay.
Like even just the whole private curriculum, having it all be on what they need rather than at school where it's kind of just a blanket slate for everyone.
So would you say like the bureaucracy? Because for me that'd be a con.
Oh, yeah.
The bureaucracy in schools is,
No.
and then the every kid has to learn this, right? That's the beauty of what we do here. We got first graders doing third grade math. We have fourth graders doing first grade math, right? Because they need the foundation. I think for me that'd be one of the cons of like traditional teaching in that respect, right? Because I always used to bother me in school when teachers would say, you know, I find a different way to do stuff, and the teacher's like, no, I need you to do it my way. It's like there's more than one way to do something.
Yeah.
Like as long as I get the answer, who cares?
And if I can prove that this method works time and time again, it's real, it works, then let me do it.
But again, it's a bureaucracy, right? They have to.
They have to adhere to those rules.
They got to adhere to those rules, right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big one. The bureaucracy of it, definitely.
I would agree on the structure, I guess the quote unquote safety net of traditional teaching, right? Because you get your paycheck every so often. You're in a structured environment, right? You went to school to be a teacher, to be in that where
it's like you get your tenure after a certain amount of years. Like they can't get rid of you unless you really messed up.
Where we're just, I mean, I don't think I always have parents ask me like, so did you do teaching before this? I'm like, no, because in my estimation, teaching is not something. What's the word I'm looking for? Just for teachers, like because I mean, because I'm not a educated teacher. I mean, like going to school for teaching don't mean I can't teach somebody something.
If you don't mind, one thing I always said was like when people talk about college, it's like, well, the dude who invented college, did he go?
Right, because he's the first one.
It's the same thing, right? So it's like the first teacher that ever taught didn't go to school to be a teacher. So I think it's something that's just in a lot of people. It's like we all have the ability to regurgitate some knowledge and hand that on to someone else, but some people have a passion for it and take to it more than others. Right,
it's true because I'm sure we have other people in our same business that can't do it the way we do it here, right? No. And that makes it different, right? But I don't know. I really do enjoy teaching and like leading people and seeing people grow. That's the part I enjoy most about doing this. I think if I had to do something else, it'd be something along those lines of trying to teach and grow people, and it comes with your own frustrations too, right? But I think I told you before, I'm not built to have this innate ability not to take on somebody else's problems. If it's not important to you, it's not going to be important to me. I work with the ones that want to be helped, right? So how early would you say you knew you wanted to teach?
So for me, sophomore year is when I got into the program by accident. But at the same time, I think I always kind of toyed around.
What do you mean by
idea.
accident?
I didn't sign up for it.
Okay.
So I was one of those kids. So like when you're going through, like, for example, this happened to me twice. When you go from 8th grade to high school, you have to like a guidance counselor comes in and is like, here, fill out the electives paperwork, pick what extra classes you want, like your gym and your orchestra, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot and I didn't turn it in at all. So freshman year, I got ROTC for the whole year and then like a general computer class.
Okay.
So that was an interesting whole other story. But my sophomore year, the same thing. They're giving you the electives based on what you chose 2 years ago now. I didn't fill anything out. So naturally, they're putting me in classrooms, which I noticed where people weren't going. Like no one wanted to sign up for ROTC. There was a handful that would, then everyone else was like, no. So then you got all the kids who didn't get their first pick. And so the same thing with teaching as a profession. That was such a niche thing that when I got there were a lot of empty seats.
Do they still have that?
They might. I haven't been in touch.
Okay.
I talk more to my more foundation teachers. I don't talk to the high school ones as much.
Mm.
But that's something to look into because that really was a cool program because it broke up this group of kids. Probably about half of them, maybe more than half, would be mentors, meaning it was more about them learning to do stuff in the school. Like they would run the attendance office and do those things, a cheap grade.
So, okay, gotcha.
Well, because that was, not to say it, I'm sorry, everyone, but it was a lazy move to make, right? Because it was like they didn't.
Cheap grade. Nothing wrong with it.
Well, yeah, but those kids weren't in it for the interest as much. Because I saw a lot of kids who were interested in teachers. There was one kid that I knew was going to be a teacher when he left this. I knew it. But a lot of the kids who did the school mentoring, they were like, yeah, I just want to, hang out in the office, see my friends at lunch. But like half of us went
and get a credit. And get the credits.
Yeah, and get the credits for it. They're just hanging around. There's no work to be done. Oh, you're getting checked out early? Cool. Thumbprint here. That's it. But like so with the teaching one, I just randomly got thrown in and they said, all right, pick a grade level and then pick a teacher you think will tolerate working with you.
Okay.
They pretty much was put like that too. It was understood that, hey, these teachers might not want you. Like,
fair enough. But I guess it'd be a help to the teachers too, right? Because they probably give you the grunt work to do that they don't want to do, so.
Well, that's where I lucked out too because I tried to really be strategic about it. I went to the teacher that I knew I was most influential with, that we had like the best connection, and so I actually got out of doing the grunt work and got to do cool stuff, which is I really think what helped me get into it.
Gotcha.
Because I would go back like once a week, we'd go out there and do that for the whole class and work with those teachers at different schools, and then we'd spend the rest of the week learning, practicing lessons, and then like going over our experience.
So wait, so this was in high school?
Yeah.
So you got to go to middle school and elementary school, go teach there? Okay.
Well, essentially you could do high school too. It just depended on what grade level you were and what class you were going for. You just could not teach up. You had to at least go below, not equal or up.
Okay. But that's pretty nice.
It was awesome. The whole thing was either you drive yourself or you have a parent that can pick you up, whatever. But if you have transportation, once a week you get to go do that. And so that would be the whole class. And so I would do that and come back and everyone would be like, oh yeah. So I learned how to, how to Xerox this. Or I learned how to do all this. I stapled away till my hands got sore. And I was like, I actually got to lead a class today.
Oh.
There was because I knew that teacher very well throughout my elementary school career. And like I talked to her and there was one day where she said, hey, I actually have a meeting I have to go to. And I was like, oh, so I can't come in next week. And she's like, no, that means you have to come in next week. Oh. She's like, you're going to come and do class and the parapros will help you. You got this. And I was like, oh, snap. So it's almost like a flashback to, like the first time you left here and everything. It's kind of like, hey, no, I need you to do this. So,
all right, so you're going
good luck. Yeah.
Did you put that on your resume?
That I might have. I don't remember.
Tap?
Well, no, I'm sure I did. I'm sure I put tap.
No, I got to go look and see.
Oh, snap. But yeah, no, it was a really cool, very fun experience overall. And it was really nice because I made a lot of cool friends doing it too.
Okay.
Met a lot of people who had that similar interest.
You think a lot of people, I guess, question is, you don't know if they still have their program. Why do you think people don't go into teaching? I'm assuming people don't go into teaching.
I think because everyone, I was weird about it because I enjoyed being a student for the most part. Of course, I had my teenage angst with all the other kids, so it was weird. But as far as the actual learning and the book work, I liked that a lot. And so I feel like a lot of kids don't. Like we say all the time, they're little people, they don't want to work.
Right.
And that's cool. But I feel like a lot of them don't differentiate why they don't want to do it versus why they wouldn't mind it. So for me to be able to kind of step back and go, hey, I like this about school and like learning, but I don't like this part. I think that kind of helped me see that there was enjoyable points to it,
So I think that's the one thing we share in common as far as wanting to learn, right?
Yeah.
Love learning. Like I hear my kids say they really don't like school. I hated missing school. I hate that's the one place I could go learn something and do something. So I always had that love for learning and wanting to learn and going to school and doing something different along the way.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting now being in that same position all these years later where I get to come to a place where I'm pretty much learning every day. And then just being able to impart that wisdom onto kids and there's people around is just kind of cool. But I would say why for me is like people don't go because I think it's called the money. Why people don't go into teaching.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess you could be a giving like I don't know.
As far as you mean not money as far as to invest in school, you mean the return?
Yeah, the return. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why go teach if I make more money doing something else? But it's not how much money you make; it's how much you keep and what you do with it, right? So,
well, it's like we're not taking it with us. So if I can clear a house and have everything taken care of, how much more do I need?
How much money you need, right? But teachers get a bad rap because the whole bureaucracy we talked about before, right? Like I would never be able to see myself in a school system. I don't think I fit into that structure of like this is what you do at this time, this is what you do. Like you mean?
Yeah.
I think this fits me perfectly where I could be teaching a kid how to sound out letters to teaching a kid J level math. Like all in one in 4 hours of work, I could be doing all that, right? Which stretches your mind a little bit to think different ways, different avenues. Yeah, it's different teaching helping a kid say the first letter sounds to helping a kid in J level or high school level math, right? That takes a different. You gotta be able to switch that on and off.
True.
And that challenge is what I like doing, and then just getting more like doing the worksheets and just help. I don't know. I love what I do. Seriously.
And that makes me think about like how we talked about. So first was like the pros and cons of like the traditional school.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thinking like the pros and cons here, and it's like that's one of the things where it's like you can help so many different kids doing what we do, whether it be in the same age group, totally different age groups, and it's just that variety is there. And I feel like there is more outreach because that's part of my thing. I just want to give back to the community. Also, I enjoy education, I enjoy learning and teaching, but I also want to make sure I give back to the community. If I'm a public school teacher, because I've thought about it, it's like I have 20 to, let's be real, I probably have 32 kids. I have 32 kids probably. Mm-hmm. And so 32 kids, that's great, and I can influence them all day, all year round till the summer starts. But here, like I could say right now, we easily have like a minimum, we have 80-something students.
Easily.
Because, just times two. But mm-hmm. So we're probably closer to 100. I usually tell people we're about 100, 110. So it's like that's all those kids, and that's just in this one moment.
Right.
And so that's already over pretty much triple the reach we would have if we were just traditional school teachers.
Yeah, it's nice to get to the point where we have kids, like, we're probably about to hire, we've hired her first ex-student last year, right? Yeah. But it'd be interesting to do this long enough where we start seeing our kids come back with their kids, trying to enroll them in doing this, right?
Well, I think that'll be like the litmus test right there to really see, okay, so y'all did see this work.
Right. And
brought your children back.
And to piggyback, you get to see, let's say the pros, right? You get to influence the kids more. So you get to see how your influence sticks with them through early adulthood, right? Mm-hmm. Having their own kids, the decisions they make, right? Just a little bit, just watching these kids that when they start with us and where they are now, just a change in their confidence and their willingness to try something hard, or when they get to new concepts and the first couple classes, it's like tears run down their eyes. They don't want to do it. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, this can't be the same kid because they asked me one question today, just came and did the work, and they're gone. That was it. That's the end of their day, right? Yeah. So that is a pro of being able to do this.
It's like we get a return on it in a way because that is what we like to see. We're not looking for a huge financial return. We're looking to see, like, I like to see when these kids do well, like you said. And like to me, that's a big thing. Work at Burger King, customer can tell you, it was a great burger. That's I'm not gonna remember that when I'm back in my apartment later. I'm not gonna think about that at all. But it's like I'll go home and be like, oh man, that one student really conquered that assignment today. Or like they're now 2 years ahead because they passed that test last week.
You sleep good, right?
Oh yeah, like a baby.
Right. So that is a definite pro. What would you say a con of?
I would just say the con is, as much as I hate to even say it, it's just with public schools having it where the parents, no matter what, the parents can be mad at you. Like, again, back to the whole tenure and how it works, the parents cannot like it and they just have to deal with it. Right. So you only have to fight that battle on so many fronts. But when it comes to what we do, I feel like there is It's almost like having the enemies come in from another angle. It's like at the front we have the education piece, trying to make sure our students get educated properly, right? But then from behind we also have, all right, but we got to make sure we're educating them properly and adhering to what, some of the parents might want to see too, if that makes sense.
Wait, say it again?
Like some of the requests of the parents about understanding what we're trying to accomplish, like working with students. Sometimes they'll want to immediately jump to what they're working on in school and what they're failing on, right? Because they want to see that immediate gratification of their algebra grade getting bumped up. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that's the con to me, is while being a public school teacher, you just got to make sure you educate these kids and get the test scores where they need to be. Mm-hmm. We can do that here, but we also have to adhere to also what the parents need, which sometimes falls in the way a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say the con here is just deal with the parents, the expectations of parents, right? Trying to make sure they understand this is not, first off, it's not school. So we're not going to tie it to the school curriculum. So get it out your mind. Second, we're not tutoring. We're not here sitting here help. Just give perfect example, right?
We're giving them the tools,
right? We give the F kid that comes in here that's in J level, right? Mm-hmm. He openly admitted he's like somebody was helping him with his homework, but they basically just gave him the answers, and then he could not remember
how to do it
when he got here. I'm just like, yeah, that's the whole point. This is where this is for you to figure it out, and you build those little folds in your brain to figure out
exactly
how this works. So you can remember.
This way will nudge you a little bit, but we're just it's a little course correction. Doesn't mean we're doing the course for you.
So that's letting parents know that the expectation. That's like, again, it's a con, right? Just hey, this is not school, so we're not going to tie it to the school curriculum. We're not going to be like, just do what do in school, because again, that mindset of thinking. Again, though I don't think I could ever work in a school, is just like they try to put you in a box.
Yeah.
Okay. For this module, we're doing multiplication of fractions, right? Okay. Mr. Desmond, they do multiplication of fractions in school. I need you to do multiplication of fractions. I'm like, ma'am, he can't multiply.
Yeah, he can't multiply.
So what do you want me to do? It's not going to tie, but guess what? When he has to do it for algebra in a couple of years, then you're going to be thanking me because he has the skills to not just do it on his own. He doesn't need anybody's help, right?
Yeah,
he just do it on his own. So that, to me, is managing those expectations is probably the con of it. But I guess I remember when I first started doing this, I was on a friend of mine, and he was just like, hey, so he has other friends that will start business, and everybody who starts a business talked about how they don't want, the reason they're starting a business is because they don't want to have a boss. But just like, when you have your own business, everybody's your boss.
Exactly.
These parents are our bosses.
Well, that's where it comes to thing, like when people say the customer is always right, that doesn't really fall in line with like your corporate, like Kroger's and Publix's. Like Publix, yeah, because that's their deal. Mm-hmm. But like if you go to a big corporate chain, they're not going to always do that because then they have all of that. But when you really do something private like this, it's like, no, they are your boss. Like, one, you see them on a personal level. We deal with them all the time. It's not like we have 14 locations and then you just step back and you never see the parents. We deal with them all the time.
Right.
So at that point, like we have that relationship. They are our boss.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have parents standing by the door. You got a classroom full of kids and just standing there staring at us, like waving us over. I'm like, I'm busy. Like,
you see, I'm doing something.
Come back another time. Like, we have office hours for a reason. Like, come back then. But most of the parents don't want to come up here a second time. But yeah, no, it's an interesting. So I would say that's one con of, I guess, doing this. I can't really think of.
No, I think that's just the one, just that battle of expectations versus reality. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And when I talk about con, I'm just talking about dealing with kids in the educational part. I mean, there's whole business and all the other stuff, but that just the educational part of the kids is just managing those expectations for the parents. Dealing with the kids is not bad. No. Like you said, they're little people. So some days they're not going to want to come in here and work. Some days they're going to act like they don't know what you showed them. They totally forget what you showed them. They have no idea. But that all gets canceled out. That one time they come to class and do all the work and ask no questions. They're like, hey, bye. Like, that just erased everything they did the week or two prior. So
no, that definitely helps too. It definitely is rewarding.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about your origin story here? How you became a villain?
But not that covered. Going to high school and doing that. Doing kinder care for a little bit. I did preschool teaching for a while. Then COVID closed it down. Like, that was interesting. But all in all, no, it all led me here. And like I said, here it definitely is really cool getting to have the influence we have on the kids in the community.
Because I heard you mentioned, I guess a couple months ago, that you might want to go to actual teaching.
I've thought about it in the future, just looking at my age and everything, looking at just relationships and all that. I'm like, man, it might be something I'd look into, but just something I'm humoring. Doesn't know if I have anything to do for now.
Gotcha. How about what moments are you proud of? This one. You want me to start?
Well, I know one from yesterday.
Who's that?
Out of our trio, our little T trio over here, our soccer team, our soccer family.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They come in late. So, no, like having the middle kid get the perfect score. Oh no, I mean he was cheesing. You would have thought the paparazzi was looking for him.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we gave him a hard time the class before.
Oh yeah,
he's just like, yeah, because dude, why are you getting 9s and 8s on this stuff like that? That's not. You should get 100 on these. So I'm proud of him.
It's still one of those things. I see. One, I'm like, I know you can do it. And so it's one of those things where some people like, why pat them on the back because you know you can do it, but still doing it, accomplishing it. Because I've seen the track record for so long with some of these students, and you still got to appreciate it. And I have a belief that even if it's one of those things where it's what they should be doing while you're congratulating them, if you get aggravated or annoyed or whatever you call it, disgruntled with them when they mess up, you have to reward them when they do good, even if it's basic good. You have to.
So that ties into one of my proud moments. I told the other one is Spider-Man there, right? Mr. Morales.
Ooh, yeah. Oh my God.
I had that talk with him, and all of a sudden he starts bringing homework back. Now yesterday we gave him 2, he brought back 1. So, it's more than 0. So we'll take that.
I still gave him because that's what I said yesterday. Because you weren't here either, so I was hyping him up. I know Desmond would be, so I'm like, I got him. I said, my man Miles Morales.
That's what I'm saying. It's just that you go back to the whole like giving them praise when they do those little things. Because in my mind, time will tell, but that goes a long way.
I really think so.
Because I mean, their first class when he came in earlier this week, I'm dapping him up and I'm like hugging him and I'm like, yo, dude, you finally did what you want. He did it now. Let's see what happens next week, but. We'll take it a week at a time.
Take it a week at a time. But I do feel like there is a mood change in him. Because I tell you, when he first got there and grabbed his folder, he's facing the wall. Ren back there goes, so did you do your homework? He sits there and goes, yep. Without just skipping a beat. He goes, yep. She goes, we'll see. And I'm like, don't play, Ren. He's about it.
He about his business. Yeah, no. So, those little things, I'm proud of him. I hope he keeps it going. My other one is probably not more proud of, not a student, but like a dedication of a parent, right? The G guy there, when his parent said, yeah, at this age, this kid's in high school. At this age, there's not really much. This is when you take the reins off, right? You're a high school kid. You got 3 more years before you're an adult. Pretty much 3-4 years before you're an adult. Really not much I can tell you, but the parent pointed out to me, which it never really dawned on me. He's been here almost 4 years. He's barely missed classes. He might not be doing his homework, but I'm proud of that dad for just showing his kid this is what dedication looks like. He might not
show up.
Right. He might not. It's not showing up now, right now, because he's not doing his homework, but he's here, right? But when he becomes older and has his own kids, he's going to be like, yo, my dad, even though I didn't want to go, made sure I went every freaking day. If we had more of that, we wouldn't have like the Gorbachevs of the world or all these other parents are like just slacking off. Like, yo, you allow your kid to quit, they're just going to keep quitting. There's no resistance on the other end. You know what I mean? Okay. So I'm just proud of that dad for even just keep coming. Of course, he wasn't here yesterday, but I'm so proud of him.
We also know they're on the way out. Right. As much as I want to see him on his last day or see him leading up to it, But at the same time, it's like, you know what? You didn't slack off until you literally said, "Hey, y'all,
we're done. Like we're can't do this no more." Right.
We'll see you for a month, but like we're done.
But so to piggyback off that, right? I just got a text from IN's mom, the one that doesn't bring her iPad. Talking about they want to stop for the summer. Wants to know if he could bring it back. I'm just like, lady,
you stop, stay home then.
No, like it's like I'm gonna read.
I wouldn't literally say, but that's how I feel. If you stop, just stay home.
Just stay home, right?
Because what are we doing to this point?
Right. She said, "Hi, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to let you know that I would like to suspend the program for the summer. I was wondering if it might be possible for my daughter to return once school starts. Again, if that's not an option, please let me know so I can proceed with a formal cancellation starting today. That's basically a cancellation. I don't know the difference between
that is cancellation.
the two, right? So this is going to be your last month. You're taking off June and July. You could always come. I don't want to stop anyone from coming back. She's just going to have to start all over. So she didn't really make much. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. She got further this time than she did last time, right? But again, it's the dedication. Well, she was here. She was here. You know what? She was here too. She really missed class, right?
No, I'll give it to you. But
I know that's a stretch. It's a stretch. That's a stretch.
No, it's a stretch. No, because I can easily remember times where she did miss class, but she rescheduled. Like, hey, can't come in this.
Right.
I have to give it to them on
that.
It's still not like our boy, though.
The difference is a boy's in a lot higher level, and it's not till recently he starts slacking off. He didn't start out this way.
Yeah, no, he has climbed a lot from where he started.
Right,
a lot.
That's the difference. When he was in these levels, he was doing the work and bringing it back, right? Yeah. So that's the difference between this, because then Dad, again, give Dad all his props. Dad knew that foundation had to be built.
Yeah.
Get to this point now, like you in high school.
You have the tools, dude.
You have 3, right. You have 3 more years until you're an adult, and you gotta go out into the world. I can't make you do nothing at this point.
No.
So this one's a little different. It's just like you're not building that foundation. There's no foundation built.
No.
So it's a house of cards, and it's all come falling down at some point. So
it is.
I don't know. I respond to her and let her know, but I guess that's a little story, a little much of a backstory about us, how we got here.
No.
We think alike. We both love learning, both love education. We love working with kids. I think that's why I think we're so successful here. It's just we have a nice little environment built here, and you see it in the kids, you can see it in the employees, you see it everywhere, right?
Yeah, you can see in the faces of the people that walk this area that it is a community.
Right, it is. It's nothing nicer than seeing the kids out in the street. And
we call it our Murdoch boys over here.
Oh yeah,
come on now, like
the whole community, right?
Yeah, no, we were making kids that have never met each other in their life friends.
Make them make friends.
Different age groups too,
right? They'll always be So when they see each other down the road, they'll be like, "Hey, man, I know you."
You know,
right?
Look at a kid like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to this guy, son."
Like, right? You know? Exactly. Yeah, he and I did this and this together. So, anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that'd be it. Kind of both had our own journeys that both led us here. You know,
and this is how we got here. So come visit us. All right. Do the whole the YouTube stuff.
Like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at JM Vasquez
and at Marietta Northeast. And we're out.
All right, have a good one.